Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Watching the Boxes Fantasy Basketball Podcast, hosted by #basketball.com, your home for the very best fantasy basketball tools and articles on the internet. Go check them out, #basketball.com. I'm your host, Mike Catron, and join me as always is my co-host, Tyler Watts. What's up, Tyler?
Michael, the All-Star break is upon us.
We are here. We have made it through the slog of the trade deadline. A lot of moves, a lot of trades, maybe a record-setting amount of trades in the over the last week, and then everything kind of breaks into a quick halt because it's the All-Star break.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always kind of a fun time of year, right? You get to see the craziness of All-Star Weekend, whether that be, the dunk contest or the three-point shootout or the skills. Then we get to see the game, the no defense game. And then, so it's always kind of a nice little break, but I do miss not having anything to watch for like a week, really.
Listen, I like the All-Star game. It's a lot of fun. It's just the guys are screwing around. They play hard for a little bit. At the end of the game, that's kind of fun too. It's kind of interesting to see the drama that's on the court, not the. I mean, that's what the NBA has turned into. People care less about the outcome of the game, but they're more interested in seeing who's guarding who's playing who a little tougher. Maybe there's some hard fouls. Maybe there's extracurricular. Maybe KD and LeBron are a little too buddy, and KD's going to go to the Lakers. Stuff like that. That's what people are interested in the NBA about now. They're less and less interested in the actual basketball being played on the court.
Yeah, that's sad though.
I agree. That is not ideal. I would much rather people be interested on the basketball on the court, and I think enough people are. But it's the trade deadline has really got everybody's head in a spin. I don't know if everybody, all the listeners out there, you have checked out our previous two podcasts where we break down all the major trades over the trade deadline. I know our Patreon subscribers over at patreon.com/watchingtheboxes, you guys got early access to that. So I'm sure you guys have checked that out as well. But Tyler, out of the, just only a couple games since all these trades have happened per team, basically, is there anything that has surprised you at this moment? My prediction of seeing a Joakim Noah 30-minute game came true just last night.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to see some craziness over the next couple, weeks here, as even after the All-Star break, right? Guys still getting healthy, guys still fitting into their new roles and their new teams. I'm not sure if I like this trade deadline being before the All-Star break or not. This is kind of new, right? It always used to be a little bit after the All-Star break. But yeah, we've definitely seen some interesting rotations, definitely some interesting minutes loads.
Jeff Green kind of disappeared from the Wizards. Bobby Portis and Jabari ended up getting their revenge game in Chicago that I got to go love it live for that the return game of Bobby Portis. I was very upset that he did not just physically assault Jim Boylan. That was what I was hoping for, but that did not happen.
It looks like Tyler Johnson's going to be the starting point guard for the Suns, so that's somewhat interesting, and I don't think I expected that.
Neither did I. I think that's a good flyer for everybody to take.
It looks like Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to keep scoring a ton on the Mavericks, which I definitely don't think we thought that would happen, but he's basically just going to be Harrison Barnes now, it looks like.
He's a better Harrison Barnes than Harrison Barnes.
So that was a little surprising. I mean, I don't know. Harrison Barnes is probably more efficient. Tim Hardaway Jr. is kind of just a chucker.
That's true. Harrison Barnes fitting into Sacramento looks like he's going to be fine there as well. It's going to be an interesting week leading into the All-Star break. And let's talk about this week. It's a very weird week because most fantasy sites, if not all fantasy sites, basically put this week and the week of basically the 21st through the 24th all together as one complete week, since we're taking a full week off for the All-Star break starting this Friday. So it's a very strange week. Don't forget that this is the same week. Don't lose track. And it's almost like you got to look at it in 2 blocks. You got your next 4 days where there is a 11 game slate on Wednesday, 9 games on Monday, but only 5 and 3 on Tuesday, Thursday, and respectively.
Yeah, and what's really strange about the schedule, whether you're looking at it just in its first part or you're looking at it as a whole, is the streaming stinks. Okay, and here's why. There's 2 9-game days in the 8-day period, right? From Monday, February 11th to what is it, Sunday, February 24th. Yes. There's 2 game days with 11 and 12 games, so you're not streaming anybody in those days. Then there's 2 other days with 9 games, so you're probably not streaming anybody in those days. And then when you're looking at the back-to-backs from the other days, it's not great. Like there's 3 games this Thursday, and then next Thursday, February 21st, there's 6 games, but none of the same teams play.
Huh.
So you're not like going to be able to pick up somebody for that first Thursday and get them also a game on that second Thursday because there's no teams playing both those days. So it's a little harder to maximize your games. Now, the good news is a lot of sites give extra pickups because it's technically 2 weeks, even if they put the matchup together. So in that sense, you know what I mean? Like
then you go all in on your Tuesday, Thursday game this slate this week if you got the extra pickups, for sure. Maximize those pickups.
But then you're risking dropping somebody who's maybe on the fringes of the top 100 for a pickup that's not near as good. So, you got to kind of balance that too. I don't know. I don't love this slate. And obviously, it's super hard to predict anything that's going to happen from February 21st to Sunday, February 24th, because, that's obviously 2 full weeks away, basically. Some guys are going to come back from injury. Some other guys are going to get hurt. We're not going to really know their prognoses, So I for my article, and this was kind of higher up people than me, decided that it basically should just be from Monday, February 11th to this Thursday, because that's really all we know for sure right now. And then next Sunday we'll have another one that goes from Thursday to the following Sunday.
And if you haven't checked out that article, it's already up on #basketball.com from Tyler. That's always a really good source. It's always how I start out my fantasy week every single week, because I just, Tyler knows all. He's having a good year this year. He knows he's putting in a lot more effort. And so I just, piggyback off of Tyler. It's worked for me so far, Tyler. I'm not going to stop now.
Yeah, and so when we're breaking this like kind of short slate down here, it's worth mentioning that there's 5 teams that only have 1 game: the Lakers, the Suns, the Kings, the Spurs, the Jazz. Obviously, that's not ideal. Strangely enough, most of the teams with 1 game play on Tuesday, which there's only 5 games, so that's a little weird.
That's very strange.
And the Knicks have the only 3-game week, so they have 3 games in the next 4 days. Every single other team, so if you were counting at home, that is 24 teams play exactly 2 games in this 4-day period.
And that almost aligns directly to what they're going to play for the entirety of these next 2 weeks. The Knicks got 5 games. Almost everybody else has 4 games, except for the Lakers, Phoenix, Sacramento, Spurs, and Utah. They only have 3 games. So there's no weird 2 games, and there's only 1 5-game team with the Knicks. With their new additions, Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, there might be some waiver wire potential in those 2 guys for a 5-game stretch over 2 weeks.
Did you notice anything about that slate you just read?
I did not notice anything about it.
Every single team, if you're looking at week 19 as its own week from February 18th to February 24th, all 30 teams have 2 games.
Yes. All 30 teams have 3 games or more.
No, all 30 teams have 2 games in the week that starts Monday, February 28th and ends on Sunday, February 24th. All 30 teams play twice.
That's interesting.
So the teams that you read that only have 3 games are the ones only playing 1 game this week.
Yes.
They're the same 5 teams, because every single team in the second part of this break plays twice. So that is weird. that makes next week streaming almost, impossible in a weekly league, right? Like if your league is weekly and it separates these 2 weeks, there's no advantages next week. There's none because every team plays twice. So you just want to get the absolute best players in there. So that's strange.
I mean, that's good for people who have talented teams. Like that's going to help out the second half this week. Then would you suggest people start basically get as many streams in as possible this week?
Yeah. And that's what makes this kind of a bummer that it's going to be hard to stream. When you're looking at Knicks, you mentioned those two. Those two are pretty highly owned guys. DeAndre Jordan, Dennis Smith Jr. A lot of people kept them from their time in Dallas, which was good. It was a smart move. They're both playing big minutes. We're looking for pickups on the Knicks, which is definitely the best team, to add over this next 2 weeks. You're looking at Kevin Knox and Noah Vonleh. Knox has the potential to be a top 100 player for the rest of the season. Now the addition of Dennis Smith Jr. probably squashes that a little bit. But, the potential's there. He's going to score. He's going to rebound. He's going to get threes. He's not going to give you hardly any defensive stats. So if you're looking for steals and blocks, they're not going to come. And then you got Noah Vonleh, who's still getting rebounds. DeAndre Jordan ate into his minutes a little bit, but he was averaging like 8.5 rebounds a game in 27 minutes. So, he's only playing like 25 now, but there's still probably, 7.5 rebounds on the table for you. That can win you that category and then therefore win you your matchup. And then, if we look a little bit deeper for just some guys playing 2 games this week, some of the best people on the waiver wire, guys we talked about a lot, Marcus Smart, PJ Tucker, Al-Farouq Aminu, Colin Sexton, Kevin Huerter. That's a guy I'd like to kind of talk about a little bit. Still only 34% owned in Yahoo leagues. I legitimately think Kevin Huerter is a top 100 player after the All-Star break.
It's crazy. Like he's just been hanging around standard league relevancy the entire year. He hasn't gone away. This isn't like, breaking news. He probably just name recognition. He's not getting picked up in enough leagues. Probably should be rostered in most leagues.
So I don't know if you read the article, Mike, but I'll read you his stat line since December 8th. Now I know you're going to say to me, why December 8th?
Yeah, why December 8th?
Well, December 8th was the moment that the Hawks decided to start playing him over 30 minutes basically every game.
Okay.
Now, why December 8th mattered to them, I don't know, but it did. So here's Huerter's stat line since December 8th. 12.2 points a game.
Okay.
3.2 rebounds.
Fine.
3.5 assists.
Solid.
2.4 three-pointers made.
That's really good.
1.1 steals.
Okay.
And 0.4 blocks in 33 minutes a night.
All right. Yeah, those add up. Like none of those are standout except for like I guess the threes are like that's good. But other than that, like none of those are super standout, but none of them are bad. And
that's
so
all
add them
6,
up. Hey, add up, man.
All 6 are positive categories, and you don't see that a ton. So I think that's probably going to push him into the top 100, and that's a valuable player, even in a standard league, that people could pick up and, own for the rest of the season and get some really great value.
Yeah, you're going into the playoffs. You need someone who's going to be consistently just knocking your numbers up just a little bit. You're going against the best of the best in the playoffs, allegedly. So really any statistical advantage you can get, that's going to work. And some of those teams, you might have a straight strategy of knowing that the guy's bad at rebounds, bad at this, bad at that. But some of these guys just might be that you're going up against in the playoffs just might be all across the board good. So you need to bring up your level, I guess your floor. And hey, Kevin Huerter is a guy who's going to bring up someone's floor.
Yeah, no doubt. So we're looking a little deeper at the schedule, right? We mentioned that Wednesday is the crazy day with all the games. So if you're playing in a daily league, you're not going to be able to stream anybody on Wednesday. Monday is a questionable day for streaming. Tuesday and Thursday are the really days you want to hit. If you're looking at a Monday, Tuesday back-to-back, there aren't any teams scheduled to play anyway, so you're really not going to get that advantage there. On Tuesday and Thursday, the 3 teams are the Hawks, the Pelicans, and the Magic. The Pelicans are a very hard team to stream with because they play their starters so many minutes, number one, and all their starters are pretty much owned. And number 2, their bench guys, even in big minutes, a lot of times don't produce great value. So there's not really anybody for them to pick up. We're looking at Hawks. Kent Boyemore's been playing pretty well. Kevin Huerter's been playing well. In a deeper league, you probably go Jeremy Lin or Alex Len. And then you got the Magic. DJ Augustine still starting at point guard and playing big minutes. That may change when Markelle Fultz comes back, but they announced he's still without a timetable to return. So who knows when that'll be.
Yeah, I would still ride DJ. Might as well.
And, the other options aren't as good. Guys like Terrence Ross have gotten over that 50% mark, but if he's available in your league, I'd definitely take a flyer on him. And, you know what I mean? In your league, I think it's always important to say this too. If it's a standard league, look around on your waiver wire. Like I mentioned the teams. I did the arbitrary cutoff of 50% in Yahoo leagues. There might be a couple guys on your waiver wire that are 60, 70% owned in most Yahoo leagues, and that's good for you, right? That's a great pickup. So
yeah,
just keep your eyes open and and be cognizant of some value changing now with the trade deadline. Like some guys that were playing 30 minutes are not playing 30 minutes anymore.
And the flip side of that, like Mikal Bridges has been playing very well, and he's been playing good minutes, and some people are worried about whether or not those numbers are going to go down, those minutes are going to go down, and I don't think they are going to, considering Phoenix is just pretty trash.
Well, and they have so many wings that they could play that it wouldn't surprise me if they did, but at the same time, they just picked him.
He's young.
They just made that trade for him, right? Or they, so why not? The Sixers actually drafted him, and then they made that draft night trade. So
yes.
They clearly wanted him, right? I mean, you don't trade for a guy on draft night if you don't want him. So why would you not play in big minutes when you're they're clearly eliminated from the playoffs. They're not competing for anything. So why not?
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of switches in rotations. Like I said, out of nowhere. Not really out of nowhere. Joakim Noah got 30 minutes the other day. So
and maybe we'll talk more about this next week, but maybe this is a thought to kind of wrap up on. And I know it's been a little short, but there's not that many games.
That's true.
The thought to wrap up on is, once the All-Star break comes, it's when we start seeing some of these phantom, he has a strained hamstring. He's out for the season.
Oh, my wrist. Oh, yep. My wrist. I can't play in April at all.
And even in March, right? Once, right after this All-Star break period, it's basically almost the end of February. There's a few days left in February. Once March hits, that's when we start seeing, especially on teams that are losing, they don't have anything to play for. They just kind of go, oh, yeah, he hurt this. He's out for the season. Wait, he's out for 6 weeks? Yeah. Is there surgery? No, there's no surgery. He's just out for the year.
We're taking it. We're cautious. We're being cautious.
Right. And so, be aware, especially,
and this goes for anybody, not just mid-tier players or weird teams or whatever, but
older players, not even always older players. Sometimes it's younger guys, in their mid-20s. They're just he's out.
He's out. They're not playing. We're not going for the playoffs. He's not going to play at all. No more back-to-backs. Kind of like we heard Anthony Davis was going to be shut down, then it was going to be no back-to-backs, then it was going to be limited minutes, and kind of weird in a back-to-back situation. He played 25 minutes in the first game of the back-to-back and, did Anthony Davis stuff. And then he played 34 minutes the very next day. Very, very, very strange. I think a lot of people who roster Anthony Davis got very excited about that. I think that is a really, really good cover to move Anthony Davis because, mid-March, after the All-Star break, mid-March, definitely not April, Anthony Davis is going to be a lot of, just sore ankle, sore knee, sore wrist. It's just going to happen. He's the over-under is still probably 14, 15 games, which is good for Anthony Davis. 15 games of Anthony Davis, even in 28 minutes, is still a top 10 player. But if you could get back, top 2, top 3, top 5 value for Anthony Davis, I'd move him.
Oh, 100%. I still don't even know. I'm still on the train that he makes it less time than you even think he's going to make it. I think in early March, they're going to try to find some phantom injury and just be yeah, he's out. He's done. He's done for the year.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm actually betting on it. So I think, Tyler, that was a quick run through, but it was an accurate run through. That's very good. Everybody, if you want to check out the rest of the details of this article on hashtagbasketball.com, go check that out. Tyler's Twitter, he's tweeting out these articles as well. Follow him at Tyler P. Watts. But a special announcement, as always, we will be still doing, we 100% will be doing our annual, since it is coming up to the All-Star break, our annual NBA All-Star points draft, where we draft all the starters, everybody's playing in the NBA All-Star game, the actual game. And Tyler is sadly undefeated in this. It was my idea to do this draft, yet Tyler can somehow wins every year.
Michael, we both know I'm going to crush you again. I got the powers on my side. This is my competition. I am ready to defend my title.
Listen, I let you win this so I can win the listener league. That's how that works.
You shift the powers that be on me so you can win the listener
you get
league.
real comfortable after winning the All-Star points challenge, and that loosens you up a little going into the playoffs, and then I come in for the kill. That's how this works.
Well, it's a little strange this year, and we'll talk about this more in the next thing. I think that one team got the better of the other team during the actual draft.
Yes.
And so
there was some shenanigans going on in that actual draft. It was, it was entertaining, but it wasn't as drama filled as I thought it would be. But also, like it was actually like a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
So I don't know, man. I'm going to be grasping for straws in our draft, because I think the one team of the guys that has a lot of the guys that I want, they're all on the same team. And we both know the All-Star game always comes down to the last 3 minutes. Like, it's going to be tied with like 3 minutes to go, and then they're actually going to play it out.
Yeah. And
that's what happens.
LeBron ain't passing. LeBron ain't passing. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. So it will be very interesting.
It's going to be a good one. I think they should do the draft during the skills competition. So between each skills competition, they do like 3 rounds live. I think that'd be great.
Dude, I don't know, man. That would be wild. I've not thought about that. I am undecided on that idea.
They just toss the jerseys out to the guys in the audience when they get called.
And now playing for Team LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great. It would be a lot. I think that would be a lot of fun to see, just, getting reactions from all the players live instead of just having like LeBron and Giannis making jokes and stuff like that. I do want to give a shout out to Dirk Nowitzki, not for getting picked last, but for having the last laugh as LeBron tried to make a hilarious, if you are, I don't know who thought this is a hilarious joke. I guess LeBron did. But he's acted like he was going to draft Dirk, but of course he drafted Dwayne Wade and had a good laugh about it. Well, Dirk tweeted out, what's a really great joke, LeBron? You and Wade in the 2011 NBA Finals. Shout out to Dirk for burning down NBA Twitter. I don't think NBA Twitter even exists anymore after that.
Well, and what's craziest about that is, that him and Dwayne, for them, kind of competing against each other in their last All-Star game, there's a lot of history there. And it goes way back further than that 2011 final to the 2005 final when Wade beat Dirk and the Mavs, and what a lot of Mavs people feel is the Mavs' best team ever.
Yeah, it only took about 25 to 30 free throws a game from Dwayne Wade during games 3 and 4 to make that series even. That's all it took. All it took was thousands of fouls, so the NBA would get revenue. Why didn't the NBA care about revenue when the Warriors basically swept the Cavs for the last 3 years? Why did they have to swing things back so Wade could get back in the game?
Oh, well, I think the Warriors have made them a pile of cash already.
Yeah, they were satisfied, I guess. But yeah, that is it. Find me at Watch the Boxes on Twitter. Like I already said, find Tyler at Tyler P. Watts. If you really want to support the show, please rate and review us on whatever you're listening this to. Send us feedback on Twitter, because we are going to be, as we get into the playoff mode and we start looking into the next year, we're going to be switching up the format of the show, and we want to make sure we are hitting the topics, the things that you want to hear, that you want to listen to. So send us feedback. And if you really want to get in touch with us and help support the show, patreon.com/watchingtheboxes. Please subscribe. Helps out the show, helps us keep going for the rest of the year and into next year. A shout out to all our Patreon subscribers out there. And everybody, we'll see you next time for the NBA All-Star Points Draft. Have a good night.